and recruiting away from the party. And we may end up talking about at the party, because to me, when we're talking recruiting, we want to make sure we're covering all of our bases. So when you think about all the different cases that we've talked about, things that we've talked about in our business, from hostess coaching as a great way to get leads. We talked about, I'm going to come noticing, Catherine, I'm getting some background noise from your phone, I believe it is. It appears. You can go on to mute, maybe. Who's calling in from 504? Who's calling in from 504? And there's also a 561 that dialed in.
561's Ronald.
Okay, hi, Ronald.
I'm 252.
Hi, how are you?
Ronald, who's 252?
That would be Catherine.
Catherine, I see your name came up. So I see you, and then I have a 504.
I'm not 504. I don't know.
No, that's what I'm asking. Who's calling in from a 504 phone number? Somebody help me out? Okay.
It's Michelle. Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can. Michelle Lovelace? Okay.
Yes.
So just a quick, make sure I see everybody that's on. I have Kendra, Catherine, Barb, Stephanie, Christine, and Kristen. And that's Michelle. Let me change that so I know. Ronald Lee, and that should be it. Am I missing anyone? Okay. I see 9, and plus me equals 9. So glad everybody's with us today. Thank you so much. And Christine Martin's just joined us. So glad to have Christine.
I was already here. I think it was Christy that just joined.
Oh, it is. It's Christy. Thank you, Christine.
You're welcome.
Christy Salmon. Okay. So, like I said earlier, we're going to be talking about recruiting at the party and getting leads. So we're going to start off by talking about getting you that, and what you want to strive for. Of course, you need 3 people on your team to become a team leader. Most of you are already a team leader, but every month, and when you're on our, for those of you that we haven't talked about it yet, this Thursday we're going to be doing a new leader orientation. And the thing that I'm really going to focus on is exactly what we started this call with 3 weeks ago, me plus 3, and how important that is to your business. So often when we think about this business, we make decisions for people and without even realizing it. We think, oh, so what I want you all to do right now is I want you to write down 5 names of people you believe would be interested or could possibly be interested in the business. And I'll just give you a minute or two. Don't overthink it. And then what you want to do is I want you to put 5 people you know who won't be interested. So does everybody have 5 people they think that would be interested and 5 they know that won't be? Okay, so there was a little bit of a trick question there, because you should never make a choice of who won't be interested. What I want you to do is, when you're thinking about those people, is do me a favor right now, and I want you to write by their name why you thought they won't be interested. All right, who wants to be the brave one and share a couple? Because everybody was shaking their head. They had both, so everybody did it. Who will be the brave one and is willing to share a couple of people and why you put they won't be interested?
I'll go ahead and go.
I'll go.
All right, Christine, go ahead. And then who was the other one? Give us a couple, Christine.
One of them is one of my daughter's teachers. Her
Okay.
name is Miss Maines. I actually have already approached her, and she says she's very busy.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. What do you see in her that makes you think she would be very good at the business?
Because she is a people person. She loves to have fun. She's very bubbly. She's energetic.
Okay. And when you approached her and she said she doesn't think she has time, and I want you to hear what you just said. You didn't say, I know I don't have time. I don't think I have time. Isn't that funny when it comes out of your mouth? You go, oh, I didn't hear that. But when I say it, it starts to resonate immediately, right? I could see in your face you knew exactly where I was going with that.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So how did you ask her? Give me just maybe a 1-sentence or 2-sentence way that you approached her.
I actually asked her if she has ever thought about working for herself.
Okay.
And she said, yes, I have. I just, number 1, I love being a teacher. And number 2, I just don't have time to start my own business.
Okay. Great example. Okay. So I said they would share one. Who was that? I think it might have been Michelle, but I'm not sure.
No, it was Catherine.
Okay, Catherine, go ahead.
I put down my mom as someone who would not be interested.
And why did you put down your mom?
Because my dad already owns his own business and she helps out a lot with that. So she knows all of the crazy that can be behind running your own business.
Okay. What kind of business does your dad own?
Real estate
Okay. Real different, right, than chocolate.
is very different.
Did you ask your mom?
I did.
How did you ask her?
I asked her if she would be interested in doing something on her own that didn't involve helping my father out with his business.
So you didn't ask her, do you want to sell chocolate or you want to be part of my team? You asked her if she you asked her if she would want to do something on her own. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on, everybody, just a second. And what was her response?
No, I'm happy doing what I'm doing, and I'll just leave that to you. You're good at it. I wouldn't be good at it.
Okay, so how did she know you were talking about chocolate if you didn't bring up chocolate?
Because we had been talking about it beforehand. It was during hostess coaching. She wanted to host a party for me.
Okay, perfect. Good to know. All right. So why do you think your mom would be good?
She's very friendly. She knows a lot of people, and she is very good at convincing people to do things that they wouldn't normally do, and she's very good at planning things.
Excellent. Okay, so you guys, here are a couple examples. When I asked you guys about how you approach them, the piece that was missing that can make a difference is building everything you just told me that would make them good is starting the conversation with that. sorry, I had a tickle in my throat. So thinking about your mom, Catherine, just using her as an example of all the many people that we tend to make decisions for. And trust me, I'm raising my hand for those of you who can't see me. We've all done it, and none of us will ever quit doing it 100%. We want to strive to, but our human nature is to prejudge. Now, we can get better, and we can fight that urge, and we can go back to people we've prejudged in the past and still ask. But the best thing to do now is to do exactly what I had these gals do. Write down all the reasons you think they would be good. This is more important to do with those that you think won't do it even than it is, or it's just as, but honestly, maybe even more important. And I will tell you, it's even more important to do it with family members or good friends, because family members and good friends automatically assume we're asking for a favor. Would any of you agree with me on that?
Yeah.
They think when we ask them,
Definitely.
we're not asking them because we think they would be good. They think we're doing it, for lack of a better word, selfishly. We want to grow our team, so we'll ask them when we think we'll say yes, or that we think will do us a favor. So when we're talking to those people, it's even more important that we approach them with sincerity and very clear sincerity. So I love what Catherine said about her mom. So let me put this into a different way. Now, I'm not saying you'll always get a different result. You won't. There's still going to be people that say no, no matter how great you get at this. But I want you to think about how the response. Sorry, let me grab a cough drop. I'm sorry, guys. But obviously, I can't stop this with water. Hold on just a second. Okay, sorry, ladies. So if I were to go to Catherine and say, Mom, you know, I've been thinking a lot about you, and I really have admired how you and Dad have built this amazing real estate business, and how you've always been such an amazing support to him. And as I grow my business, I'm super excited about finding people like you that I can count on to be that same kind of support, and we can build together just like you and Dad have built together. And you know, I have to tell you, Mom, I have never met anyone in my life that is more persuasive and can get people to do what they want them to do more than you've done. And that has been such a great training for me as I start to build. And I know that you and Dad have this going on, but Mom, I just want you to know it would be the biggest compliment in the world to me if you would think about maybe doing this, because I believe you would be fantastic when you apply those skills. And it could be something that Dad and you could actually even use in the real estate business, as corporate gifting, as you meet different clients. It's another service you could provide to the clients that you're selling real estate or doing rentals with. You could use it in your own business for closing gifts, for listing gifts, for referral gifts. And alongside of it, we'd have so much fun working together, and we'd be taking that trip together next year to our, let's say. Do you hear the difference? Now, Catherine, I'm not saying that your mom would respond any different, because we don't know. But do you see where the chances are of her responding different if you approach it that way? Are you there?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I had some background noise.
Can I repeat the whole thing?
Just the last bit where your question was.
No, I was just saying, I don't know if your mom would say yes or if it would change her answer, but do you see where the approach would help her to know that you're saying it out of sincerity, not as a favor, and she'd be more likely possibly to listen?
She might be.
Right. So we don't know, but when we use this approach versus, especially with friends and family, we're more likely for them to hear our sincerity and not think we're just trying to build a team member. Christine, thinking about the person you gave me the example of, if you took the exact same thing that you just said and started the conversation with, as I watch you and as I observe you as a teacher, and these are the characteristics that I see in you, and that would make for a great business person. I know you said to me in the past you don't have a lot of time, but I have found people like you get so much done in a little bit of time. And did you know that you can make an extra $500 to $1,500 just adding every month, just adding maybe 5 to 10 hours to your week, with only a few of those being outside the home? Because they may be thinking it takes 20 hours a week and they don't have 20 hours. But when it's 5 to 15, then, oh, really? No, I didn't know that. Most people assume it's going to take more time than than it really takes. So, Christine, could you see where if you took that approach, that it could change the outcome? It may not, again, keep in mind, ladies, it may not change the outcome of whether they say yes or no. But what it does is it puts you into practice of approaching people with looking at the best in them. Instead of how can it build my team, it's how can it build them? How can it build their personal income? Anytime you think of someone else first, you can't be pushy. It's impossible to be pushy if you're keeping the best interest of the person you're speaking to in mind. Where we become pushy is if we start thinking, I need a party, I need a recruit, I need some sales, and we start thinking, who can I get to do this for me? So we want to change that perspective of, who can I help get free chocolate? Who can I help have more fun by hanging out with their friends for a few hours? Who can I help by adding income to their life? Who can I help because they can't pay their rent this month and they're looking for a way to bring in an extra income? Who can I help by letting them use those great leadership skills they have? Because every time I've seen them use them, they thrive and it makes them feel better. There's no way you can be pushy if you're thinking about another person. So the best way to recruit is to look at other people. Is to look at what can this do for them. So I can honestly remember when my business literally, what's that word I'm looking for? Like when it went from being average to spectacular, and I started recruiting like crazy, it was because I started thinking of other people. I'm just as human as you are. When I first started, I wanted to get this and I wanted to get that. But I can remember when I decided, hey, I got in a slump, quite honestly. That's the truth. I got in a slump. So what did I do? I decided that my mentor pointed out to me that when you're in a slump, that a lot of times you come across in desperation. Because you're like, oh my gosh, I've got to get some parties on my book. How am I going to pay my bills? I've got that car payment coming, and you're just like crazy, right? So I can remember where I was, and this was probably 24 years ago or longer. I was driving down Highway 26, which is otherwise known as Grapevine Highway here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I was on my way to a party in North Richland Hills. And I thought, I'm going to walk into this party today, and all I'm going to do is everybody I come in contact with is try and think about how can I help that person. I didn't think, how can I help them recruiting? How can I help them with a party? I'm just going to think, how can I help that person have a better life? And as I started talking to people, I learned a lot about them. When you visit with people, you learn a lot about them. And then I would know, hey, that person's expressing things that sounds like things are a little bit tight financially, or they're just not real happy right now. They might need some fun in their life. How can I add fun to their life? And that is when my business turned. So I'm going to ask you every day when you get up, I'm going to challenge you to look for 3 people every day, just in the sake of saying me plus 3, that you get out of your comfort zone and say, I'm going to look for 3 people that I can, and actually the words I use is I use help. The words I honestly use is how can I help, how can I change their lives for the better? And let me tell you, it makes for you to be really happy, not just for them to be happy. It makes for you to be really happy. Anybody have any questions on that, or want to know how to maybe approach a certain situation?
Laurie, I have a question.
Okay.
If someone says, I absolutely positively have no money, like I am stressed to the point of how am I going to put dinner on the table, how in the world do you tell them or suggest that, look, this will help you down the road, when what they're worried about is tonight or the rest of this week?
Well, the words I always say to that is, so let's say you said that to me, Catherine. I'd say, Catherine, that breaks my heart. And that's the truth. It would. If someone told me that, it would break my heart. So you have to be sincere, right? So you would say the words that were sincere to you. I'd say, Catherine, you know what? That really breaks my heart. And I just don't want your family, and I know you don't either, to ever be in this situation again. And that's where I see that this can really help you. We have a couple of options. One is you don't have to make an investment. You can have a party and you can actually earn your kit. Now, however, I'd love for you to make money on that party. And usually when people are in a situation, we all have someone that can help us out. Do you have a family member that would be willing to loan you $115 now for the kit so that you never have to ask to borrow money again? Because, you know, the tire could blow on your car tomorrow and that would be $200. Or this, and if you're doing this, you have a way to make an income and have a paycheck within 2 weeks. Because no matter when they join, they always can get a paycheck within 2 weeks, right? Since we pay every 2 weeks for the 2 weeks. Most jobs, they go get a job. Many people have to work 2 weeks and then they don't get that first paycheck till a week or 2 later. So it could be up to 4 weeks before they actually see a paycheck. Whereas these people, if they join today is the 6th, and everything they turn in by the 15th, they'll have a paycheck on the 20th. And that can change their life. I've also asked them, you know, do you have a special occasion coming up, an anniversary, a birthday, that someone would gift you your kit as your present? I would rather, if I'm in a situation, the best gift someone can give me, don't give me a pair of shoes or a candle or home decor. Give me a kit and let me go make a business. So that's where I would go with it, Catherine. Does that help?
Yeah, it really does. I hadn't thought about it that way. I've thought about the money borrowing part, but not the what kind of events do you have coming up where you might get gifts. I hadn't thought of that. Thank you.
And on the money borrowing, what I say is, if your tire blew tomorrow and you couldn't get to work, and you don't have the money, if you don't have the money to buy a kit, you don't have the money to buy a tire, who would you call to borrow the money from to get that tire? Because that's probably the most likely person. And then you say, I want you to go to them and say, I've been given an opportunity to make money, and I don't want to be in the position that my family's in. And unless I change something, you know, the old saying, if we always do what we've always done, we'll always get what we've always got. And I don't want to put my family in that position that I don't have an answer. I don't have a way out because I'm always doing what I'm always doing. Would you be willing to just help me out by loaning me $85 or $115, and I can promise you I will have that money back to you by the 20th of this month? and you make a commitment to that person. You give them a date. Because I don't care if they have to go door to door or stand on the street corner. They can get $500 in sales between now and then. Through parties, through asking, one-on-one, through internet. And they can give that person. And when they give that money back to that person on a timely manner, you know what? That's going to show that person they're a good business person and that we've got a good business. That very well could be their first recruit. So again, it's looking at that person and not saying, how can I get them on my team, but how can I help them change their life? Any other questions before we move on? All right, here's the other thing. Don't think that your family and your friends will volunteer because they know you're doing this. A lot of us think, oh, if my sister wanted to do this, she would tell me. And your sister's thinking, well, if Lori wanted me to do this, she would ask me. And you get in a vicious circle, and then your sister sees you doing so good at this that she gets invited to a Pampered Chef party, and because you're doing so good at Dove, she thinks, well, if Lori's doing good at Dove, I'll do good at Pampered Chef, and joins Pampered Chef. And then, excuse my language, but you're really pissed off because you really wanted your sister on your team, right? But you didn't ask her. So let me give you a perfect example of this. 26 years ago, or probably 25 and a half years ago, I was at a sales meeting when I was with Tupperware, and every single Monday night we had a sales meeting that we went to. And I was standing at the back door. It was my turn to kind of greet. There's usually about 200 people that came to these meetings. And in walks Carol Green, who had joined the exact same team I did. And we were like in a little competition to see who could, get the furthest, the fastest. And right behind her walks in Stacy Wooten. Stacy Wooten from my Sunday school class. Stacy Wooten, who was married to Randy Wooten, who we've had dinner at our house together. Our kids played together. They'd had us to have their dinner. I go, Stacy, what are you doing? She goes, oh, I joined Carol's team. I said, you did what? Why did you join Carol's team? Why didn't you join mine? Anybody know what she said? Yes, you're absolutely right. I read your mouth, Kristen. You never asked me. That hurt. She earned a car in 4 months. She could have been on my team. So you can't get if you don't ask. Remember how I told you from the beginning, every conversation when we talk about our business needs to end with a question? Trust me, I told Stacy I did this, but I never said, do you have any needs that I could fill to help you by having your own business? I thought Stacy would. Let me tell you, all I can tell you is I'm thankful it happened in my first few months because it changed my business for life. So who have you not asked? I want you to write down 3 people right now because I know you have them. Because 26 years later, I could still probably write down. I know I could, not probably. I could still write down 3 people. Who have you not asked because you think they'll ask you if they want to do it? A sister, an aunt, a brother, a best friend, a next door neighbor, someone you work with, someone you've done another direct selling company with. Some of you may already have 6 people written down because you had 1 in every category. If the truth be known, right? And so it's really important. I'm going to challenge each of you to make time before the end of this week to talk to at least those 3 people. And then wake up tomorrow and ask yourself again, who else do I know? And who else do I know? And every morning, who else do I know? That's lives could be better by having a party and having fun or making money and having a business that I haven't asked because I keep thinking, well, they know I'm doing this. Because everybody that I can see, would you agree there's people in your life that you haven't asked? Right? Don't be Lori and have your Stacy Wooten walk into your life and you go, oh my gosh, Do all of your neighbors know that you sell Dove chocolate? Let me tell you what else. Wouldn't it suck if your neighbor 3 doors down from you invited you to a Dove chocolate party that someone else was hosting, being the chocolatier? Well, if they don't know you sell it, why wouldn't they book one with someone else? So, how many of you need one more party this week? You don't have 3 on your books for this week. Guess what? Find a time right now that between now and Sunday, you have 2 hours free. Book a party for yourself and go invite your neighbors. The safest neighborhoods are where people know each other the most. And that is the truth. That's statistical. I've got the nosiest neighbors. I could leave my doors wide open, not just unlocked. Nothing's happening to my house because I have the nosiest neighbors, and I love it because we know each other. Y'all, I had a little skin cancer removed right here one day, and I had a little bandage thing. My neighbor called me from way across the cul-de-sac and asked me what was wrong with my arm. I'm thinking, does she have binoculars on my house? But the safest neighborhood, so you want to go. Okay, and here's the thing on that. You're not going to put flyers on their door. How many of you have ever responded to a flyer at your front door? Or what percentage have you? If you've gotten 100 flyers and you responded to 1, is that the odds you want to have at your party? 1 out of 100? You're going to knock. You're going to take a little postcard invitation. You're going to write the time, date, and time. You're going to put a Post-it note on the front of it because a lot of this happens. How many of you know your neighbors, but you don't maybe even know their first and last name? You might know their first, but you don't know their last. You definitely don't have their phone number and their email, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to go to door one evening after everybody gets home from work. Some of you may be fortunate enough to live in those neighborhoods. Well, it's cold up north right now, but where people are outside playing with their kids and they're sitting around, and you're going to walk up and go, oh my gosh, this is a party waiting to happen, and I've got it happening. I know you ladies love chocolate. Men, do you like chocolate too? Thursday night, my house, 7:30. We're going to have a chocolate party. And I want you all to be there. Do me a favor, so I'll remember. This is a good word choices. So you don't have to say, I don't know your name, because I'm really bad with names. Do me a favor. All of you write your name and phone number on this little Post-it note so I can remember who all I invited. That's my nice way of getting their name and phone number without going, I don't know your name. If you go to their door and they answer the same thing, would you do me a favor and just go ahead and write your name and number on here so I can put in my address book and I'll know whose number this is when I go around the neighborhood. You're not saying I don't know your name. And then get their email after they put their phone number down. And this is how you're going to build leads. You know you have people in your neighborhood. I recruited my neighbor across the street and 2 houses down. I recruited my sister who lived about 6 blocks from me. We didn't run into each other's business. How many parties do you actually do on your street? It didn't matter that my neighbor Tammy joined my team. She worked at a different place. Her husband worked at a different place. Her kids were different ages. They were on different soccer teams. We just were neighbors. That was our only one thing in common. She went to a different church. She built just as big a business. I had 2 ladies to tell you how you cannot recruit yourself out of business and the market does not get saturated. My kids were young and I first started, I lived in a town called Grand Prairie. And elementary school sat right behind my house. My oldest was in kindergarten. They used to go to half-day kindergarten. There were 3 van driving managers at Tupperware, meaning we all had very successful businesses that had kindergartners at the same school. And Rachel's daughter and my son were in the same class. Do you know it's been 26 years and no one's ever asked me, do you know Rachel Cromwell or Teresa Barlow? And our kids were in kindergarten together and grew up all through school together. Because you don't stay right there, right? You spread out. Before you know it, you're nowhere near home. You're holding a party 30 minutes this way and 20 minutes that way. Doesn't matter who lives in your neighborhood. So by the way, for anyone that ever tries to tell me their area is saturated, You can choose to believe that, but all you're hurting is yourself. Saturation means great brand recognition. Why was it so easy for me to book Tupperware parties? Because all I had to say was I sell Tupperware, and people go, oh, Tupperware, and then have immediate thought, right, of a pitcher or a container. We want Dove to have that same immediate, we're just on the ground floor and we can make a lot more money. But if there was a such thing as saturation, companies would have to quit recruiting. They would shut down the recruiting process. There's no company that's ever done that. By the way, you might say Origami Owl did it for a few months. That was a marketing ploy. I know the people that ran the company. That was all about making people think that it was growing so fast they couldn't bring any more in. They could have. They just chose not to. Very smart. But it's not because they couldn't. It's not because the public didn't need more. It's because they wanted to get their systems in place and service better. Not because it's truly saturated. Those of you that know, I hear this all the time, oh, everybody I know has a 31 rep. Or everyone I know has a Pampered Chef, whatever it is, Origami Owl. If we went to your local mall right now and everybody came in the front door and said, do you have a 31 rep? If that's the biggest company in your area, still 90% of people would say no. Isn't that amazing? The opportunity that you have. So when you're out and about, how are you getting leads? Now, Barb participated in something really fun that we did in her area about 3 or 4 months ago. And this is another way. If you don't feel like you have enough leads, you have shopping centers and malls full that are open and people are in every day. And if nobody but the employees are there, that's okay. Create your own scavenger hunt. So it was really fun. So what we did, this is a great team activity to do too as you build your team, but you can do it by yourself too. What I did was I gave them a list, like go into a clothing store and try on a nice outfit that you would wear to a party or a conference. Then ask the person that's waiting on you, do you think this would look great to wear to a chocolate party? They forget they're selling clothes at that moment. And they go, a chocolate party? What do you mean a chocolate party? Opens a door for you to talk about your business, right? And you can say, oh, well, I work with Dove Chocolate and we do this, this, and this. And I'd love to invite you to get your friends together. You got so excited about it. When's your next day off? Or you just go in and you might find the friendliest person you see. Or you just may go into each store and say, have you received your daily dose of free chocolate today? They go, no. Like, are you kidding me? Well, I have it for you. Oh my gosh, that's it. This is Dove Chocolate. Then you get their name and their phone number. You can do this for 1 hour and probably leave with 20 to 30 new names and phone numbers. Go where in a lot of malls now, they have the little areas where kids are playing. Buy little fun-size packages of like M&Ms and then put samples of something that we have together and go in and just start talking to moms and say, I don't want the kids to hear me because I don't know if you want to have them or not, but I want to drop you off a sample of chocolate. And if it's okay, I have a little M&M's bag for your kids. I work for Mars and Dove Chocolate. Immediately they're going to go, you do what? Oh, that's cool, or thank you. Now, here's the thing. Guess what? Some people are going to be rude. They are. Do you care? No. Because guess what? The next day, if you go back, they're not even going to recognize you and you're not going to recognize them. You're not even remember who was rude and who wasn't rude. It's their loss. They're just an angry person. You don't want to have a party with them anyway. So I only like to hang out with fun, happy people. So, but also you can put a smile. Or you can see somebody that's really looking stressed out, and you can say, you know what, you look like you're a little stressed right now, and kind of laugh. Well, I am. Well, here, let me make it better. I work for Dove Chocolate. Their mood will change. This is how you identify leads. Here's another great word choice for you when you're out in the mall. This is a really good one. This is good for the mall, for Target, for anybody that's in the hospitality industry, like a server. You know, Christy, you're really good at what you do. They pay you what you're worth here. No one has ever said yes to me. No one thinks they're paid what they're worth. When they have their own business, they get determined what their pay is by working their business. And then, you know, I do that all the time with servers. And here's what will happen. This was a great, Samantha Sherrill from Mississippi was sharing that at first she was having a hard time bringing the business into it. So she just started paying compliments to servers and, you know, to the people at your cashier. You know what? You did a great job today. I know this has got to be a tough job. Thanks for being friendly. And she said, though, after a day or two, it just started coming out of her mouth. And I'm like, you know what? I'd love to talk to you because I'm always looking for people with great customer service skills, and I have my own chocolate business. I'd love to tell you more. These are ways that you can constantly be adding to your list. So guess what, ladies? You can't ever say to me anymore, I don't have any leads. You can say, I've chosen not to go get any. Well, then whose fault is that, right? I can't help you if you choose not to go get them. But today, we've taken enough time to say, these are all the ways that you can get leads. And once you get them, when they write their name and number down for you, if they're busy, like let's say it's a Target cashier, I always say, let me give you a call back. What time do you get off work tonight? Not in 3 days. You want to get with them that day. Or if they're working in a clothing store, or if their kids are kind of screaming at the mall and they don't look like you can get their attention. When would be a good time today or tomorrow I could give you a call back and tell you more? Okay? You've got to get that name and phone number. So everything I carry has Post-it notes on it. Y'all know I'm like the queen of Post-it notes, right? I have Post-it notes on everything. So you want to make sure that you're getting that. So what's going to happen if you say, Lori, I don't have any leads? Be ready for me to say, okay, here, I'll choose name Barb. I guess you're choosing not to have any, right? Or, you know, okay, Christine, that's okay, but you're choosing not to. Which way do you want to go get your leads? So we've talked about your neighborhood. We've talked about the mall. We've talked about at parties. We've talked about people you know. On that Post-it note, they're going to write their name and number. You're going to write identifying characteristics from physical to personality. Especially if you get a lot in one day. You might write redheaded lady with baby in the stroller. Was very nice and really lit up when I mentioned chocolate and some time away with no kids, Calgon, take me away. So when you call them, you actually know who you're talking to. Because if you don't do that, you're not going to remember who they are. If they have kids with them, ask their names and say, hi, Christy, this is Lori. I met you and your daughter, Samantha, at the mall yesterday. When we do that, we're saying, I cared enough to listen. If they're with their husband, get their husband's name. Introduce yourself. Reach out. Give them that firm handshake. You know, you're talking to the lady and the husband walks up. Oh, hi, I'm Lori with Dove Chocolate. And you are? Oh, I'm Bill. So on her little thing, I put Bill. It was so great to meet you and Bill yesterday. Building those relationships says I care. And I could give y'all every fancy word choice and how to do a Cocoa chat, and you can memorize it perfectly. But if that relationship that I feel good about me doesn't come first, it doesn't matter what you say. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Y'all ever heard that before? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I'm sure I've said this to y'all before, but never in my life have I had anybody say, I don't like you and I don't trust you, but I want to join your team. It doesn't happen. So you want to build that relationship of like and trust. You don't need to know about their Aunt Sue's broken toe in Missouri. That doesn't matter. But you do need them to feel like, did you find that funny, Christy? Because people do want to tell you all that sometimes. So that's another thing. Now, here's another one. At the top of your order form, do you all use the BAM tool? You know, the big tool where you Shows everything you get for hosting at your parties and everything that you get for recruiting. Barb, you had asked about the drawing slip. This is what I've done in place of the drawing slip to make my life simpler. Is after I do the host side, I just say, will you go to the top left corner of your order form and write which one of these things, and I just reread them really quick, is the most exciting to you. And if you have to write 2 or 3, go ahead and write 2 or 3. What I'm learning is what's going to make them excited about being a host. They don't know that, though. I just say, will you do that for me? And then when I do the recruiting side, I say, same thing. Would you go to the right side of the top of your order form, and would you write down which of these things you think is most important for a company to have? Then say which one, because they're going to tell you what they want, because that's what they would want a company to have, right? So it just sounds like I'm marketing. So then when I sit down and I'm talking to Ronna Lee at the end of the party, I can say, Ronna Lee, I see here that, flexibility and naming your own income, it's really important that you see that a good company could have. Did you see how that really flowed into our Dove business? Oh, yeah, I did. And, Ronald Lee, when people say flexibility is important, tell me why is flexibility important to you? Well, I have 3 kids, or I've got one that has some special needs. I work full time, and they're in all these activities, and I don't ever feel like I can meet myself coming or going. It's just too much. And I said, Ronald Lee, if I can see where flexibility really is important to you. If I could show you where you could just fit this in for a few hours a week at the pace that you would like and have some fun, and you wouldn't even have to do it every week, but if you liked it, maybe someday you wouldn't have to go to that full-time job. Just hearing about it, would that be of interest to you? I never asked her to sign up. I just want to get the information in front of her and let her decide. Then I'm going to ask her to join. So I can get so much information right there. I don't have to have any extra paperwork. I've got what they like about booking a party here, what they like about recruiting here. And in the center, so my last tip for recruiting before we wrap up for today is I say you've met a lot of really fun people at the party. I hope some new people that you've never met before. And by the way, before I forget, I always have people wear name badges at their party. So when you walk into my party, I have name badges, a Sharpie, and I have the food cards. Support, fun, time, simple, money. And I ask them to write their name and which of those 5 cards resonates with them the most. That's all I say. Write your name and which one of those 5 cards resonates with you the most. Okay? And that tells me about them. But at the end, I'll say, I hope you've had a lot of fun today. I am all about people having fun, paying each other compliments, making each other feel good. So I want to give you a chance right now to pay someone a compliment. I want you to look around at all the guests in the room. And if you had to pick out the number 1 person in this room that would make the best chocolatier of the guests, who would you pick? Write their name at the top. So then Michelle walks over and I go, oh my gosh, Michelle, do you realize 4 people here today said you would make the best chocolatier? Wow. I don't even know if they all knew you. That's such a compliment, Michelle. Have you ever thought about doing something like this alongside your family and other activities? 4 people think you'd be good. I doubt they're wrong. Other thing I say is you can pay yourself a compliment because sometimes we don't take enough care of ourselves. If you think you would be the best one in this room, write your name at the top. And then I say, Stephanie, I'm so glad you wrote your name because I thought you'd be awesome also. I'm so glad. Let's get you started because you will be fantastic. And I'm saying this with this true, genuine smile on my face because I really mean it. Whether it's I'm talking about Michelle and the people that voted for her or Stephanie that voted for herself. And it feels good, right? No one has ever left a party going, I wish no one would have said me. I don't want anyone to pay me compliments. It's not going to happen. And even if they say no, let's say Michelle does get 4 votes, but she doesn't do it. 2 weeks later, one of her coworkers says, oh, I got invited to a Dove chocolate party. She's going to go, oh my gosh, I went to one of those. It was so much fun. In fact, they thought I should be a chocolatier. Then guess what her coworker's going to do? Well, you should be. Right? So that reinforcement's going to come back around. And what you're doing is you're building not just for the moment, but you're building for your future. And is there anything that I just said that a brand new chocolatier couldn't do at a party? They can read what's on the front and tell people to write, read what's on the back, tell people to write, and have people wear name badges and pay someone a compliment. And if you do that at your parties, guess what? Your chocolatiers are going to do that at their parties because it's simple. You don't have to remember anything. I'm always afraid if I have to take drawing slips or this or prizes, I'm going to forget something. So anyway, let's go around and have everybody share their best takeaway from today's class. And I'm going to start with Stephanie. So what is your best takeaway through our recruiting? And then I will talk about homework. And Barb, you can go next with your best takeaway, okay? From today's class after Stephanie.
I wrote it down. I'm looking for it. I like the create your own scavenger hunt thing. And I have that from when I took the class previously, still in my email. So I'm going to start using that again.
Good. And I want to do it before our call. Remember, we don't have any calls next week. So let's get back to our coaching. And on that Monday, I want you to tell us how it's working for you, okay?
Okay, awesome. I also really like looking at someone and seeing how you can help them or offering your services to help them, whether it's packing groceries to the car or something like that, not necessarily having fun at a chocolate party, but doing something for them.
You don't leave because you can say stuff as you're going to the grocery. What do you do? And they'll say, well, what do you do? Right? And if you want to get your business in there, that's not being selfish, that's being smart.
Yes.
Okay? Barb, why don't you go next? And then Kendra, I'll have you go next after Barb.
I like, have you received your daily dose of free chocolate today?
Okay.
I would have never thought to say that to somebody. And I also really like what you said about the being sincere and don't think about yourself, think about them. Because, you know, that's what a lot of us, well, me, I can only speak for me. Well, you need a recruit or whatever. And so, you know, but to pay them a compliment first and then, you know, how can I help them, always on my mind and that kind of thing. So, and I have, you know, 3 sisters and 2 sister-in-laws and well, more than that. And so I guess I need to ask every one of them and just talk to them about it because they all have qualities that would be good.
Okay, good. Awesome. Kendra, and then we'll have Christine Martins go next.
Oh my gosh, I have a lot, but I'll be fast. So I really like your story about your friend that got her car in 4 months because I can see that happening to me. And then I would go, why didn't I ask her?
Right.
So I love that story. Look for 3 people every day that you can change their life. And then I have a friend who I tried to get her to sign up when it was only $85. And of course I said to her, ask her dad for the money. But I like how you elaborate. Well, what would you do if you blew your tire tomorrow? He would give you the money. So I really like that. And the last thing is, yeah, I have neighbors. So I'm like, I need to get my neighbors together this weekend and have my own little neighborhood party.
Excellent. So, by the way, each of you write down what you're telling me your favorite is because I want you, remember, to do, part of your homework is to put it to work. It's not a specific. You get to choose which one you're going to put to work or which couple you're going to put to work.
Okay.
All right. So, Christine, and then we'll go to Christy.
I kind of like everybody else have several. I think the one for me, I am always afraid that I'm going to be pushy. I don't like pushy salespeople, and I don't want to be that kind of person. So to do the thinking of other people first and paying them the compliments and how it would be impossible to be pushy when I'm putting someone else first, that I love that. I love that switching to that side and that thought process. The scavenger hunt, the samples with the business cards to people in the shopping center, the word choice for the servers. You are so good at what you do. Do they pay you what you're worth? I can't tell you how many times I wish, I've been in food service, and I can't tell you how many times I wish somebody could have given me an opportunity like that. So when you said that, it was like a huge light bulb went off in my head. So I mean, those are the things, the big things. I really love the name badges with the Sharpie and the food cards, and that way I know, it's the time or it's the support that somebody needs. Because I've done other direct sell businesses that I didn't have the support and felt that was really necessary for me.
Good. All right, so we'll go Christy, and then we'll go to Kristen.
Okay, bear with me. My voice is like crazy. I'm
Okay.
coming down with something. So, I have to get over. I've been in sales for 16 years with my company that I'm with, so I have to get over the whole sales scripting, because that's where I'm at. Where it's, here's the paper in front of you. This is what you have to read to your customer. So I need that. I like to be able to open up and just be me and talk to a customer. And I've been trained for so many years to not be that person, that now I'm allowed to be me, and it's hard to break that habit. So I need to be able to ask that person that I wouldn't normally. And now knowing that I can, it's like I have to get past that wall that stops me from doing it. So I like that, and I actually did it this morning. I have a best friend of mine since kindergarten that moved to Florida, and I'm in Jersey. And she recently, about 2 months ago, signed up for It Works, the other company. And I know she's having a very hard time with it and not doing well. So I sent her a text message this morning and said, I have a great company for you to sign up with, because I know you're having a hard time with yours, and I want to bring you under with me. So I did branch out this morning with that. And I've yet to hear back from her, because I know she's a teacher. So she's, but I know she's struggling and needs to make ends meet. So hopefully I did take a step forward in that direction with one person, but now I got to do it with others.
Right.
So that's something I do really need to work on, asking the people who I normally wouldn't. But I do love the sample idea of giving samples out with the business cards with when you're in the grocery store. And I did actually do that one time, and it worked really well. I was expecting a bad reaction, but when Dove sent us those coupons at Easter, I was actually had them in my hand at the grocery store, and I passed one out to a woman that was there shopping. She was so excited, and unfortunately I didn't have my business cards there I hadn't ordered them yet. And but she was like, oh my gosh, this is so great. But I did give her a catalog because I had them in my purse. So but I have yet to hear from her. So but
that's why you have to have the Post-it note on the front.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you hand out, guys, go buy you all your favorite color Post-it notes. Do not give anything out without getting back. I don't care how, because here's the thing, she may have lost it. Maybe she really wants to do it and she lost it. And there's nothing she can do.
Because I'm not from around this town. I moved here. I moved in with my fiance 2 years ago. And I don't know, like you were saying about going and asking your neighbors. Like, we live in a town where, like, literally my next door neighbor is my mother-in-law, my soon-to-be mother-in-law, who lives, I have to walk half a mile to get to her house. But then the next neighbor is a cow. Like, we have, that's the closest neighbor. And then you have to drive a mile to the next neighbor, so I don't know my neighbors.
So yours is that you don't really live in a neighborhood, so you'll do more of the mall, the strip shopping center.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, guys. Think of it this way. Every time you give something out and you do not get a name, you are giving control of your business to that person that you don't even know. And do you really want a complete stranger to have control of your business? So just ask yourself. So when you put stuff in your purse, don't even put it in your purse without putting that Post-it note. I would rather you not have a business card and get their number, because you can call them. It doesn't matter if they can call you.
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Kristen, then Michelle, then Ronald. We're running out of time. Sorry, ladies. This has been a great call. I'm so glad y'all gotten so many great things.
My biggest takeaway was to remember to ask everybody, no matter who they are.
Okay.
I fail at that sometimes, having 10 brothers and sisters and not ask one of them to join my dove business. So,
But remember to start it with that very sincere compliment, that it's most important that we really explain to them what we see in them so they don't feel like we're asking for a favor. Okay?
Yep.
That's so important. Great. And put that to work before our next call. Michelle. Michelle Lovelace, we can't hear you. You're not on mute from our end. All right, I'm going to skip you, Michelle, and come back. Ronald Lee?
I'm here. I'm
Okay.
here. Can you hear me?
Okay, yep, I
For
can.
some reason, when I have my earphones in, you can't hear me, so I have to unplug and put it to my head.
Yeah.
The thing that I took away was be more talkative in the lines, which shouldn't be a problem for me. Perfect. I'll pay that. I'm sorry. Hold on just a second.
Breaking up a little bit.
And I like the not pushy part too, because you know, when I love something, I'm like, well, why wouldn't you do this? If I believe you could do it, why not? You know. And I wanted to make a note that my husband, with the sharing the chocolate, I do the sea salted rounds, and I haven't been able to get my business cards yet. He actually made a copy of the Dove logo and spaced it out on the paper, and we've done a cutout on the 8x11 and created an envelope. And I stick the round in there, and then I've taken address labels, and in brown I put my name and add my name, my phone number, and my web address. And I make it like a little arrow. So I fold the two corners down so it makes a point. So that's the part that you can pull the sticky off and get to the sea salted round.
Cool.
That's my sample chocolate. My husband came up with this. I'm like, you are brilliant.
Well, if you're free to share that with these groups, that'd be awesome. If you'll share it in the group you're in, then I'll share it with the other group. Also,
Okay.
just so you know, you don't have to make a copy. There is the
Right, they've got the stickers.
yeah, and also there is, you can online, there is the Independent Chocolatier logo in the back office that you can pull and use for anything.
I'm having a hard time visualizing that. Michelle, is there any way you can maybe take a picture and send
Yes.
it, like in our, I think you're in the same coaching group that I am.
Yes.
And then I'll share it on the other one. Don't worry.
Okay.
Awesome.
I will. And Lori, real quick, did you send us the tic-tac-toe yet? Because I have not seen it.
I sent it yesterday.
Okay, I'll check again.
Okay.
All right.
You know that.
Thank you, ladies.
I'll go in, Michelle. I'll make a note. I'll just resend it to you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
I'm wearing 15 different hats this week, so it's been real crazy.
No worries. All right, Ronald.
All right. I kind of like the idea of trying the outfits on the mall and just randomly asking the associates if they think it would look good wearing it to a chocolate tasting party. I thought that was a great way to strike up conversation with a complete stranger. That's something I could see myself actually doing.
Good. And
then I put to think of the other people and to look at them, talk and with them so I can learn about them. Sorry, my dogs are barking in the background.
That's okay.
So learning about them so that you can help them, think of them, and lead them into, what would be best fit for them.
Excellent. That's awesome. Okay, well, everybody has some great takeaways. Remember what we're going to do. So we're going to continue with our 21 success. I'm going to be sending you a list of 10, and it is pretty self-explanatory, so I'll send that to you. as part of your homework for the next 2 weeks, since we don't have a call next week. And then working on your party lineup, recruiting, and then these things that you each identified individually that you want to put to work in your business, your aha moments, okay? All right, everybody. I hope everybody has a great week, and I'll see some of you next week, I believe, at Team Leader Training. I can't wait. So have a good day, okay?
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Michelle, I'm going to miss.
Is team leader training tomorrow or next week?
Next week.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I can, because my meeting is this week.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. New team leader orientation is tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
Team
Okay.
leader training in New Jersey is next week.
Oh, there. Yeah, because Angie's going to that. Okay. All right. Okay, great.
Bye, everybody.
We'll talk to you later.
Uh-huh.
See you. Bye.